Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company Podcast. This is a main show.
Yeah.
But you may notice we have a guest.
Woo! It's a new guest. All right.
Yeah,
A new
Morgan.
possibly a new co-host.
That's right, yeah.
Going to join us.
Should bring her on. She could talk a little bit. But as you know, before we get too far into it, main show. This is where we talk about, our weekends, what we got up to. And I guess I should introduce ourselves just to make it really clear. I'm Dane Hennen. That's Levi Gates.
Yeah.
That's Anthony Fisher.
Hey.
And this is Morgan McMurray.
Yeah.
The newest member of the crew.
Yeah, so
All
you guys may remember Morgan from our Wash West Day.
Wash West Day.
It's actually, well, it was a Wash West World. Yeah, where it's a super big twist on...
Stagecoach.
Yeah. So Wash
Stagecoach.
Wednesday that we had with her E46 M3. And so and we basically had you on. You showed us that you knew quite a bit about detailing, and you also happened to just kill it at polishing your car for your very first time, and that was pretty awesome to see. So next thing you know, we're like, hey, want a job, or what's going on?
What are you doing for school and work right now? What's your future plans?
So we
would you like to interview for a position with our company?
So we pulled her on. She's going to be helping a lot with the marketing, as well as hopefully helping with some future videos and all sorts of different stuff, customer service. We felt that, it would be awesome to have a girl on the team to add that extra.
Not to say that we don't have girls that work here. We do have a lot of girls that work here.
Our media
and a
team.
girl does own the company.
Correct.
Yes.
A girl
on our media team.
Correct. That's what I meant by that. We do hire women. We are we're an equal opportunity employer here at the Rag Company. So, Morgan, I guess tell us a little bit about yourself and whatever you feel comfortable telling us.
Okay. Okay, so my name is Morgan. I'm 20 years old, and I've kind of been in the car scene for, I would say, maybe 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
I've only had my M3 for, I think it's a little over 2 years now, so really being into it has only been more recently, so I'm kind of just now, diving into all of that, but, I'm a student. I go to Boise State University here, and I'm studying business marketing, so that's kind of fun to tie all that in.
That's also one of the reasons we hired her.
Yep. So, and I've always hoped that someday I can kind of tie in my love for cars and everything, as well as the marketing side of everything. So, kind of just worked out well.
Yeah, I guess you could say
it really
did
work out, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, for a 20-year-old, life's looking pretty good at this point.
It's all coming up Millhouse.
Just as long as you continue on this path, stay in school, don't do drugs. Life's
take your vitamins.
Take your vitamins. Life's gonna be looking pretty good for you. But so you had your E46 for a couple of years now, and that's kind of what pulled you into the car scene.
Yep.
What
but not only just the car scene, she's done custom stuff to her car.
Yeah. You have a lot done to it. So we actually have a lot of people watching or listening that like car stuff. So you can kind of geek out and nerd out about stuff like this, and people are going to get it. So give us a brief list of what you've done on the E46.
Okay. Yeah, so when I first got the car, I maybe had it for 3 months, and then I was already I want to do things. I want to change things. And at that point, I was 18. I just graduated high school.
Had no money,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. So I was
just bought an M3.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of money.
So I was kind of but I was still living with my parents, and pretty much all the money that I was making from my job was kind of free spending money for me. So I was like, okay, cool. I started buying just exterior body pieces. So I got some carbon canards for the car, and then an APR splitter. So those were the first things that I put on my car. It's actually a funny story because I was so excited to put those on that I just ripped my front bumper off.
Nice.
Just straight up.
And I watched videos of
out of excitement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
and I didn't know.
We all know that feeling when you get something new in the mail and you're like, I should wait until tomorrow to do this because that's the logical thing to do.
But it's 8:30 on a Sunday.
Yeah, and you're like, well,
3 hours
I'm just going to be thinking about it, so I better go out and do it. And then you end up rushing the job and then butchering it in some way.
Yeah.
We all know that feeling.
Yeah. So I did it at my friend's house, and I don't remember when we started, but my curfew at that time was 1 a.m. So we had, you know, that time that we had to finish by, and we probably started at like 8, which wasn't the best idea for literally drilling into carbon fiber, you know, canards and a whole front splitter.
It's like a first job.
Yeah. So, and I didn't know how to exactly take the bumper off. I'd watched videos that kind of like showed how other people took the bumper off, but they were like, oh, you just have to pull really hard once you pull these clips out. So I took all the clips out, pulling. I'm like, this doesn't feel right, but I mean, they said it on YouTube, right?
Right. It's on YouTube.
If it's on YouTube, it must be true.
Yeah.
Mechanics said this is how you do it.
Yeah. So I ended up ripping the bumper off, and it still would attach, but not safely. We figured out, but I had to be home, you know. I had to be home at 1 a.m. So, you know, around the time of, okay, we finished, we got everything attached, and now we're like, okay, let's put the bumper back on. Great. Well, then we figure out, okay, it's literally falling off.
Yeah,
like,
all the clips are broken.
It's literally falling off. So
Zip time.
I'm like, oh my God. So I literally, like, it's barely hanging on, and I drive all the way up Eagle Road. Like, 65, 70, whatever I'm going at, you know, trying to get home. I'm like, oh my God. And it's pulling, I can hear it, like, pulling down. And I'm like,
wind's pushing on it, and it's pushing on the ground, and then the ground's going to hit it.
And I'm like, oh, please don't fall off. Because, like, I would run it over if it fell off. It would be a huge mess. So, anyway, I got home. And, like, the bumper, I could tell it's barely hanging on. So I'm like, okay. But I had school the next day, so I was like, okay. My classes started at, like, 10:30. So I drove to Boise State with it also on. Again,
another far drive.
On the freeway. So I was like, okay, really bad idea.
Living life on the edge there. I would have, were zip ties ever a thing that you thought of at that point?
I did, but the clips were broken, so I was like, what am I gonna attach it to? So I was like, okay. But anyway, so I get to class, and I park in the parking garage, and I'm like, dude, this isn't staying on. Like, someone could literally take off my bumper while I'm in class and
just walk off with it.
Yeah, so somehow in the parking garage, I take off my entire front bumper and fit it inside my car. And it's sitting inside my car, literally, like, the whole day.
That's gotta look
like the
weird.
Last thing I was expecting to hear.
The whole day in class, and so I come out from my classes, and, like, I just see my car sitting there with no front bumper on, and, like, literally it's shoved inside my, you know, 2-door car. I'm like, I don't know how it fit, but it did with the whole splitter on. Anyway.
Like, what would somebody walking by, like, seeing this small girl, like ripping this bumper off and then, like, shoving, like, what are you doing there?
Either that or they're scared of her, because they're like, my car might be next.
She's just hulking out.
Hide your wife, hide your kids.
So that was kind of like, I mean, my first DIY thing didn't go great. So at that point, I was
DIY.
like, oh.
Well, it's like a learning moment, right? We've all had that at some point or another where you've done something, you're like, crap, I shouldn't have rushed this. I should have put a little more thought or work into it, but you know, and then here you are. So you have that on the front bumper of your car. I think you got a new front bumper, right? Eventually, because somebody backed into you.
Yep.
Okay. And so that was all replaced. So that's all fixed and looks nice and proper. What else do you have done to the car?
So it is, as a lot of people know, it's on air suspension, so airlift performance. I have the 3P kit, which I bought maybe a year ago. I bought, like, in July, August of last year. But I haven't even had it on for a full year yet, because I did have it for a while, just waiting. I had to rebuild my wheels to fit with the bags for everything, you know, to not rub on it. So I haven't had it on even for a full year yet, but that's, like, one of my favorite things. Like, that suspension, I just love it. It's so cool. It's so convenient.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I love showing people, you know, when I pull up to, like, the coffee drive-thru, and they're like, how is your car so low? How do you go over speed bumps? And I'm like, come outside. Like, let me show you. And then I'm, like, on my phone, and I'm like, and they're like,
what?
I'm like,
That's literally was my reaction when she was just like, oh, I'm gonna lower. I'm thinking everything's done by the controller inside the car, but she's like, oh no. I'm like, technology.
Like, it's got Bluetooth, baby.
Is
Baller
pretty
status.
crazy nowadays, where you can actually lower and, you know, raise it from your car, from outside your car. But it's we've been telling her that, because where she parks, she kind of parks where you can see her car on one of the main roads, where we say she's flexing on everybody as she parks it in the slammed state. And it does look, dude, it's mean. It's definitely pretty, like, you know, attention grabbing. So, and the wheels that you have on there are
they're CCW classics.
Nice, and they're real.
Yep.
they're real CCWs.
Wheels.
There's a lot of knockoffs out there.
Crazy.
It's pretty cool that you got some real ones. And then you have a rear diffuser as well. Nice. And that is that carbon?
No, so it's just I'm pretty sure it's aluminum or
just
some mix
it looked
of
aluminum,
something.
I think.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's
just like
aluminum.
Yeah. So for the most part, it's pretty much just all visual mods, right? Nothing performance yet. No.
But it's a 6-speed.
It is a
Which
6-speed, which is also
very
surprising.
rare.
When we got in the car, I was definitely thinking it was an SMG, and then I was like, "Oh crap, that's awesome! That's super cool that you have that." So it was a fun episode. If you guys haven't seen that Wash Wednesday, go check it out. We've made a ridiculous amount of foam. Taught her some proper wash methods. You're probably not, utilizing things.
Yeah,
in
you
terms
almost
of
drowned
efficiency.
in this foam.
There was a
pile.
lot.
bit much.
We were swimming in it, but then seeing her polish for the first time, it wasn't like a whole setup. Like a lot of people could think that, she's polished before. Maybe that's not really her polishing. Is the machine even on? Like she actually killed it her first time around.
Yeah.
And
people are suspicious of every YouTube video these days, so I don't blame them. There's enough fake stuff out there. It kind of makes it go, oh, but in this case, 100% real.
And you were there, Dane, so you saw.
I'm the cameraman, so wherever the camera is, I'm behind it and I'm moving it.
I gave her a crash course tutorial on what to do with the LHR 15 Mark II. So it's the Rupes Mark II. So it's the most powerful, 15 millimeter throw out there. And so handing that to her, saying, here you go. Here's a compound. Here's O&R as a wetting agent. That's how to wash your pads. Go. And she did it. And it was pretty cool. So
you walked her through it once, and for the sake of time in the video, I cut that part of it just so we could kind of keep it moving. But really, I mean, you just picked it up so fast, and you innately understood what needed to be done. The only thing left to do would be to just like critique and adjust like your pad angle and stuff like that. Really. Those are more like next level skills though for somebody just getting into polishing. So you had it.
Pad
right
angle,
off.
arm speed, adjusting machine speed. It's all stuff that it also is a variable. I mean, it changes with every job depending on what you're doing. But for the most part, we're gonna have you practice a lot more because last Friday we went down to our favorite junkyard. Across the street,
the Jalopy Jungle.
Oh yes.
And what do we pick up?
We picked up a pretty bad 06 Hyundai Tiburon hood.
GT.
A GT hood
Yes.
that is like a burgundy red.
It's metallic.
It's a very metallic, and it should look pretty spectacular when it's done.
It'll look nice when it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also picked up a pretty sweet sway bar for the Elantra off that
did.
Tiburon too.
He was actually more focused on the sway bar than the
he's
hood
like,
itself.
you guys handle the hood.
Well,
I got this.
I got the hood off.
We went there, we're like, hey, we got to find a hood. And me and Dane and Morgan are out looking at different hoods. We're like, where's Levi at? And I go back around the corner. He's underneath this Tiburon, right?
It was a GT. I had to get the sway
what
bar
are
off
you
of
doing?
it.
He's like, the sway bar is on here. It's really going to stiffen up
mine.
the suspension
Well,
on the...
it's a high-performance machine,
the Elantra.
and this is just going to make it more of a high-performance machine. Like, I'm going to be... When we're carving the canyons later this summer,
Okay.
the four of us...
Later this summer, that's like a year away.
We're going to be fast and furious, where we're all driving our own cars.
Well, we are a tuner crew now.
Yeah.
We all have tuner cars.
Yeah, so I'll be leading the pack because you fools won't be able to keep up because of that Tibby sway bar in the rear.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and what scares me is that honestly, Levi would be in front because he has no F's to give, right?
Yeah,
he's going to go balls to the wall.
He's the guinea pig.
Pedal to the floor wherever he goes because he knows he has something to prove, right?
Yeah.
This is like...
Well, I don't have anything to prove. I just know you can't keep up with me.
This is like, we're going to be in much faster
Dane
cars.
will be behind everybody.
He's
He'll
faster
be the
by
last.
sheer force of will. It doesn't matter how fast or slow the car is. He is faster.
That's right.
Like, we're going to say, you shouldn't take that corner at 60, and he's going to take it at 80.
I'm going to say, with that Tiburon GT rear sway bar, along with my strut brace and my HR springs, this car handles like it's on rails. It's got it'll pull a bigger G than the Evo will.
Yeah,
especially once I get my new Ankies on there or my Konigs on there. And I get the...
I was to say, betray Scott like that.
No,
you need
I
got to
get those decograms on that bad boy. And then I get the tires that you have. Dude, you don't need to spend all that money on an Evo. Just get yourself an 06 Elantra.
It's practically the same car.
It's literally the same car.
Yeah, I mean everything except for
Can't
the
take
that
giant
serious.
turbo and all. But hey,
Hey,
you know what?
I got single piston Hyundai OE brakes,
One piston.
and
a
the
whole
rears,
piston.
the rears are drums. So
Oh my god.
I don't know what you're like. Just because you got Brembos doesn't make them
Oh,
that great.
man.
All right, so we've gone on that.
Anyway,
that ran a little
sorry
bit
to
longer.
digress, but we got her a hood.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. I think you're really going to enjoy it. But we're basically going to get Morgan to go straight from the junkyard all the way to show car finish. We're going to correct everything. We're going to coat it.
Yeah.
We're going to make that hood look like $1 million.
And we're gonna try and bring you guys along for the ride. I think that's the important thing is
Yep.
we want to show that, because this is one of those things that people run into on like YouTube channels. They'll look and they'll just see somebody who's proclaiming to be an expert, right? And maybe they have experience, maybe they don't, but they go out there and like, this is how you do this. And, you see that, and maybe they're right. But then there's also, there's always those comments that are skeptical. Well, we want to show you building Morgan up from like, she's enthusiast right now, but we're going to get her to a pro level where she can absolutely do anything a pro does.
Yeah.
Well, I want her to be
And we
able
want
to...
you to see that evolution.
Yeah, and I want her to have the skills where, just like Anthony, you can get thrown into a job with other folks.
Yeah.
If we're visiting or we're doing a training or something, and people will know.
Throw down,
Any
man.
questions,
Yeah.
we can
So
get
when
down
you
on some paint.
talk about something detailing related, people listen because they know you've got that experience to back it up. And I think that's really cool.
So I guess I want to
Well,
dive
training.
into this.
Yeah.
So Morgan, don't be afraid to talk brands. Tell us products. What do you use at home? Because you're familiar with some detailing products, and you've used a variety of towels. You've used all sorts of different chemicals and whatnot. Tell us kind of what you used for the past several years on the M3 and what you like the most, and just be honest, what you like the most, and what your favorite kind of upkeep is on the M3.
Yeah. So the first year that I got the M3, I just kind of used a lot of my dad's car wash cleaning stuff, which was, not really stuff that I had picked. It was just stuff that was there. It was laying around.
So it was
So-
like McGuire's, like off the store, out of the
Mix
store
or
stuff.
turtle
Yeah.
wax or something.
So there was a mix of that, but he also used a lot of Griot's stuff because, and I think, are they based in Seattle
Yep.
or
Tacoma.
Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were actually from Seattle. So we moved to Boise from Seattle. So he had, I don't know how he got connected with a lot of that stuff, but he had tons of Griot stuff. So there was that, and then there was just like random, mitts and stuff from like Walmart or wherever he bought it from.
Yeah.
So I did start out with a lot of that stuff, and like I liked it, but I didn't get to pick it. I wanted to pick my own stuff. So that year for Christmas, I told them that I wanted like a full kit. So I think they send out catalogs, and so I like went crazy with that catalog. And it was like a toy catalog when you were like 6.
Yeah.
and you were
Yep. No, well, it's
circling
that time of the
everything.
year. My kids have got them, and they are circling everything.
Yeah, exactly. So
Like, you
I'm
guys, we
pretty
can't
sure-
buy all this stuff.
Yeah, so I'm pretty
You're like,
sure
you
I like
didn't leave
circled
anything.
Yeah.
everything, handed it off to my dad, and I was like, all right, this is my Christmas list. Like, this is what I want. And he was like, my mom was mad because she was like, I want to buy you like makeup and nail polish. And I was like,
No.
I
You
want.
can, but this is what I want.
Yeah, I was like, well, this.
Just know you're disappointing me
Yeah.
if you don't get detailing products.
So,
Wow.
yeah, so we got a lot of that stuff, and that was awesome. So I used a lot of that. I liked it. But then, on Instagram, I started seeing all these other brands, and there was like some Chemical Guys stuff that I got. I got like the wheel cleaner, and they had this cool brush that I wanted that was like a long cone looking thing. So I got that. And then more recently, I would say within like the last 6 months, Adam's Polishes started sending me a lot of stuff, and that was fun too because I didn't have,
Well, who doesn't like free stuff?
yeah,
right?
I didn't have
Free
like
stuff
that
is
wide of a variety of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I had my leftovers from like whatever I'd purchased over the last couple of years, but as far as like having that much of a variety, I was like, oh my gosh, like look at all these crazy things that I have.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite? I mean, out of all, you can be specific. What certain chemicals did you like? Did you not like? So like, did you like, I don't know, their polish? Did you like their detail spray? What would you like out of the lineups?
I liked detail sprays. like the Adams one. I know a lot of people like it because it smells so good.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Yep, Anthony, it's like your favorite
It
smelling.
smells so
Yeah.
good.
That smell is like it's like crack for me, and that's the thing. It's like
Well, we talked to Dylan, and he told us what it was.
I know.
And
the
Anthony
smell
learned how to make
combination.
it himself now.
I did. I was actually, if you can believe this, if you can even believe this, I'm not going to tell you how I did it. I mean,
Come on.
I won't tell him the exact sense, but
Okay.
I was able to go to my local Walmart, right, and buy 2 air fresheners, and the combination of these 2 air fresheners made that scent to where now my car smells
So
like
now,
the detail spray.
Just like when you go get those little trees, Anthony gets 2 of them
Yep.
and hangs them from his mirror, and that's what makes his car smell, so that it can smell like Adam's detail spray all the
small
time.
hint, one is a colorful one is a solid color one. You mix the 2 together, you get the smell of detail spray. I'll just leave it at that.
So what I do is for myself,
Yeah, right.
in my car, I do the same kind of thing in my own concoction that I've been doing for a decade.
Yeah. You like the yellow trees, don't you?
No, I don't. I
No,
use
I don't.
orange trees.
Orange trees.
So
what it
I
was.
use coconut and peachy peach. So it's a peach coconut that I mix together. I put those 2 together in my car.
I can't
that's
argue
what
with
I
that.
do.
That sounds like it would smell really good.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I re-upped last
Oh.
night. I went to Fred Meyer's, picked
Wow.
up some trees. I'll bring you a couple.
I think my clean and shiny one's finally on its last leg,
Mine
so it's
too.
probably about time.
Yeah,
to-
No,
but you can keep
clean
the
and
clean shiny ones.
speaking of those clean and shiny ones, those clean and shiny air fresheners, John, if you're listening to this, send us more of those. I love those. I think they smell good.
I think they look dope.
I
And
think
they
we need
just
to.
love
the way
I
it
think we need to
looks.
make our. Really do need to make our own air freshener this next year.
Morgan, do you want to be in charge of that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to be in charge of the fragrance division?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be pretty harsh because I'm very picky about smells.
It's true,
but, you know.
Anthony. Well, Anthony's the critic of everything we do. Like, if
That's
we do
not
anything,
true. I'm a nice
we turn
guy.
and go, okay, but what's Anthony gonna think? And then we present it, and we're
Anthony's
like,
like,
we're
"It
pretty
doesn't
sure
smell
it's
like
gonna be
detail
good.
spray.
And then Anthony's like, yeah, but
not
it's
supposed
just
to,
not
dude.
Adam's detail spray. And we go, damn it. Okay, back to the drawing board, and we gotta start again.
That's the thing. Like, I truly, like, as a product, like, it's okay. It's okay. But I just love the way it smells. That's literally it. I just like the way it smells. And it's just one of those words. Yeah, it'll do a detail spray job, right? It's not
Yeah.
like, it's no instant detailer and gloss enhancer, but like my dream would to have instant detailer and gloss enhancer with the smell of detail spray. That would be a dream. That'd be amazing. But
Just send an email to Dr. G. See if he'll make you up a batch.
I would pay for that. Now, so Morgan,
Probably need
so
a 55-gallon drum though.
yeah,
just so
yeah.
you're
I'll
aware.
take it. Anybody want in on this? So, Morgan, so going forward though, so we got your car coated in Optimum Gloss Coat. So now your car has 2+ years of protection with a true ceramic coating. We're going to be showing you a lot of different methods to maintain that, and we already kind of hooked you up with a couple different things. So you already have bead maker at home, and you have a few towels to try out and whatnot. And so it'll be kind of cool because, well, depending on if you're hopefully here for 2 years, we'll actually get to see,
I'm pretty sure she's planning on being here for 2 years.
well, I'm just saying, who knows? Maybe she's like, hey, guys, I got a job in Africa doing wildlife reserve stuff, and this has been my dream. And I'm going to say, cool, congratulations.
Man.
So what I'm trying to say is that, she has gloss
Please
coat on her
stay.
M3. Her M3 does live outside currently right now, right?
Yeah.
In the meantime, until you can get a garage.
the element.
And so it'll be kind of cool to see how the M3, the gloss coat, holds up in future videos that we're going to have. So I'm sure we're going to have, by this spring, a lot more detailing stuff, a lot more tutorials, and where we'll be washing the car, and we'll actually see how well the coating is held up, and we'll see if we did a good job applying it. So
That'll
Yeah.
be good. Yeah.
that'll be pretty cool. So let's talk about weekends now.
Yeah.
Levi,
Boom.
what'd you do?
The Master of Shine was in full effect this weekend again.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
I detailed a Dodge Ram for my buddy Keith.
Nice.
And just cleaned it up. It was clean, but it was
Full size, or like how
it was
big
a
was it?
long bed crew cab,
Oh, wow. Okay,
diesel,
So a lot
3/4 ton.
of surface.
So it didn't really
It
fit
was
in
only
the garage.
it was white and it just barely. I sent you guys a picture.
Yeah.
It stuck out about a foot, so I couldn't close the door
The door's just like
at night. So
above
I
the
I
bed.
basically cleaned the interior up and then got it all polished and wiped down, and then I pulled it out and let it sit outside overnight.
What was your method of polish? You use a one-step hyper
I used
polish?
so I used a one step on the whole thing, and I used TLC with the white Optimum waffle pad
Oh, nice. Yeah.
on the 15, and that did a pretty good job. It was, I mean, he runs it through the car wash here and there, but he takes really good care of the truck. And it had been about 3 years since I had done it. Fun fact, that was one of the trucks I first ever did a headlight restoration on.
Oh, cool.
When all the packages and kits were coming out.
Yeah.
How's it doing?
Needless to say, he needs to have his headlights taken care of because they're pretty rough.
So what you're saying is you've improved over the years.
I have improved over the years. So he was looking at him. He's like, "Do you remember the first time you did those? They looked really good the first time." And I was like,
you're looking at him now, all yellowed.
Yeah, I'm like, man, it's been like 7 years and they are pretty rough.
When I turn my lights on at night, I can't see.
Yeah. So I just polished him up real quick for him. But yeah, no, we just took care of it. And then our buddy John Francie of the Sticker Mafia, who makes all our stickers and logos. He also makes stickers for Detailer's Helper, PNS, and
he
a
gets
bunch of local
around,
detail
and
shops. He also makes all the Obsessed Garage stickers.
He sees what we're up
But
to.
the thing is,
and then-
we didn't even know he was getting around that much until like one day he was like,
What you guys don't
understand
understand is that it's me that has been introducing him to all these people
Okay.
to make these stickers for them.
Yeah.
because we're like, what the heck?
You guys
John?
don't know that, but that's what I do
No.
on the back end
So
as a
Levi's
business development
just-
here for the Rag Company and Sticker Mafia.
He's doing like international back channeling and
Yeah.
Sounds like we need to be getting a cut of this,
Yeah.
Mr.
So-
Francie.
But anyway,
he's got
so
a
John,
sweet truck.
John brought over his Beast, which is a Silverado SS.
Not a normal
that
one.
is a 6-liter with a lot of stuff done to it and a turbo bigger than Anthony's head.
It actually is bigger than my head.
It makes it sound like
Confirmed.
just
It's
hellfire.
well, and then it's got
insane.
cutouts.
Oh my god.
And so you can hit the cutouts and open that up, and it will shake the walls.
I was here
Anthony
late
walked
editing
by
one
one day,
night.
and he was like, when we did that, you were like, my insides feel funny.
Yeah.
You were like, that was weird.
I was editing late one night here, and he must have been doing a photo shoot over with Bart
Yeah.
over at the studio. I thought for sure some hooligan was just like ripping around the parking lot. No, it was just him idling out
Yeah.
there. And then when he actually stepped on it to go leave, he like did a little, I'm just going to put some 11s on the, on my way out. He got it,
well,
spinning
he'll make
a little
4
bit.
11s
Yeah.
because it's
insane.
all-wheel drive,
Yeah.
and he does 4-wheel burnouts in it.
I believe it. It's insane.
got that
but
much power.
It sounded unreal. Just in the building here, the building shook and the glass was like,
Yeah,
it
it's-
was
in
yeah.
my garage. It was pretty rad. So like he pulled in and pulled over and up to my house, and Augie hopped in because he'd been hearing that the truck was coming by, and so Augie hopped in the front seat, and he's like, "I want to pull it in," and so
Oh.
I fired it up and I opened up the dumps on it and rolled the windows down and slowly drove it up into my garage
Bet your
because
neighbors love
let's
you.
just say I didn't want to put the gas down too much in the chance that I drive through into my
Be
master
one of
bedroom.
those
Idle it in,
YouTube
yeah.
videos of the guy who drives through the back of his
Yeah.
garage.
So I idled it in, but it was brah, 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 just like, and my wife, like Hadley came out, and my dog was like, all
What
the
is that?
Like, and Augie's just smiling ear to ear, and yeah, it was fun. So worked on his truck. It had a lot of rubber on the side of it.
I wonder why.
Hadn't been polished in a couple years, but everything came out pretty good. But I did the OptiSeal and bead maker on that. So
Nice.
that's where I put OptiSeal on the car and let it sit overnight, and then I just wipe the OptiSeal off, and then I apply bead maker.
Yeah.
So you get the bonding of the OptiSeal to the surface, and then the bead maker on top of it. So it was super glossy, and then he came by last night and picked it up, and
Nice.
but yeah, so a pretty simple, easy weekend. We're going down to Utah for Thanksgiving on Wednesday, so I'll be working about half the day on Wednesday and then headed down there. So we're going to be driving. Still haven't fixed the Elantra or the Camry since our last trip down. So I did get the front end line, or I got the tires rotated and stuff like that. Put a new battery in the car. But yeah, so that's basically it. Simple, easy. Not too shabby. I hung my shelves that I got from Innovative Tools.
Heck yeah.
Hung those on the wall, so that opened up the garage a lot more. It looks pretty
Very
dope.
nice.
So
Yeah, they
thank
look
you,
good.
Innovative, for the wonderful housewarming gift. Appreciate it.
Super
So
cool.
anyway, that was me.
I mean, in my case,
Did you work?
I worked.
I knew it.
But I also had to. I was scheduled to work on Saturday. So I
Okay.
was here. I was
but,
working.
But Sunday you worked because it was fun.
yeah.
He goes,
I
I
got a
didn't have
SEMA
to be
video.
here. I just showed up because I wanted to.
I'm feeling the pressure. Everybody and their cousin has their SEMA videos.
Yeah, but they don't look as good as
been-
yours is going to look, Dane. You're
Mine's
putting in the
mostly
time.
shot with cell phone footage.
That's why you're working so diligently to make it work nice.
I'm trying to make it look nice. Any rate, there's really
SEMA was
fun
what,
behind
now,
the scenes
now
stuff.
officially 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. No,
Yeah,
Dane-
holy crap.
Yeah. No, like
This is
the
the
thing
start
is,
of the
Dane,
third
get
week.
on it. I'm just kidding. I'm just
God.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's only cell phone footage.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I mean the point of doing our SEMA videos is I treat it like it's a yearbook, like all our travel vlog stuff. I treat it like it's something you can look back on, and I'm gonna be real to the audience. It's not for you nearly as much as
Heartfelt.
it is for us.
He plays
That's
Green
not very
Day's,
heartfelt. That's me
that
saying it's selfish.
Time of Your
it's
Life
for us,
song.
not
Yeah.
for you. I want to put it out there so people can get like a window in and see like what the behind the scenes is like.
But I
what
also
the-
like watching it to relive all of our memories. It's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And there's like, always some hilarious
Yeah.
inside joke that winds up happening. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
So
like
I want
Conor McGregor.
people
Yeah.
people who care about that kind of stuff will enjoy it. I know they're not going to get a ton of views, but at the same time, I just really enjoy making them. So
Yeah.
I do that selfishly.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I did. I will say, though, Morgan came in over the weekend when I was working on Saturday, and I lent her my Harbor Freight polisher. Yes, I have one. Yeah, so I lent that to her, and I have no idea what you did with it, but I'm assuming it turned out okay because you didn't call saying something got destroyed, so that's good.
I haven't done anything with
Nothing
it
yet.
actually,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Well, I hooked her up with some waffle pads and stuff. A safe start.
Yeah.
Just to go with.
Start on the right foot, right
Yeah.
on. You guys are looking at me like it's my turn to talk.
I don't know
Well,
if you
unless
were gonna
Morgan had
ladies
something to
first.
contribute. Yeah.
We can have it be ladies first. Morgan, would you like to jump in? Tell us about your
Go
weekend.
for it.
Yeah, so Saturday, I just kind of slept in. That was nice. And then I came in here. We got some pads.
Yep.
And then I went home and I got my car ready to take pictures.
Of course.
Yep. Cause
So if you guys haven't followed Morgan, she's famous on Instagram. Her
Insta-famous.
Her car's Insta famous. So this is a thing. She takes pictures, just like how Levi takes pictures of his Elantra, but just doesn't, post them all yet.
Except
He's
people
waiting.
actually want to see it.
No, I haven't physically created its own page.
Oh.
And I only take
Hmm.
like one photo of the Elantra every 6 months. So
Okay. He'll have
ideally Morgan's car is like a business. She runs it as such. So
Yeah.
technically,
She's
Yeah.
more
She's-
like Anthony because Anthony
Yeah.
runs two.
you've got your
Insta
car
pages
page
as
too.
well.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right, Morgan, continue.
so
Uh-huh.
I go to take some pictures of my car because my problem is here. When it snows, I have to take off the CCWs
Oh,
because those aren't going to get me anywhere in
Yeah.
the snow.
Yeah.
So I have to put my studded snow tires on, which
Ugh.
don't look good. at
Well,
all.
I got a remedy for that.
Yeah.
Did it last year. Put the moon discs on.
Yeah. Well, she has.
I'm gonna do it
M3
again.
Wheels.
I'm
She
gonna
has-
do it
You
again.
still have the M3 stock wheels, right?
Yeah, but
yeah,
yeah.
but I
moon
have
discs.
I have 3 sets. I have the stock set, I have like the CCWs, and then I have my winter set.
Okay.
So the winter set has like winter tires on them, but it looks horrible because they're
What-
like
what-
this thick.
What are are the wheels like hubcaps? What do they look
No,
like?
they're just like, I think they're like a 5 or 6 like spoke.
Okay.
They're just, they're literally from Tire Rack. They're not cool, but
Oh. Well, hey,
Well, and the front splitter works as a snow shovel also.
yeah, no, we don't. We used to say that, and then I broke it.
Yeah, I get him.
Then
Nate
decided
did that
against
same
it.
thing with his Subi.
Yeah.
That first winter, he did the same thing and completely pushed forward and then backed up and ripped the whole front bumper off of his car.
I mean, you remember what happened to my Miata. I had a chipped tooth for the better part of last winter
Yeah.
because I hit a chunk of ice and it took out just one section of my whole
Those
splitter.
ice blocks that fall off of certain cars.
Fell off the
Yeah.
back of a truck. I
freaking
couldn't
crazy.
move
Yeah, they're
them.
just
man.
giant boulders, all they are.
Yeah, exactly. There, and they will destroy your car. It just.
My
I'm-
favorite is when you run over one and it bounces underneath the undercarriage and you can hear it bounce.
And you just hear patink, patink, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's bad.
So
anyway, so you went to take photos
Yes.
before you put your winter tires on.
Yeah, because I post basically every other day,
Yeah.
which is a lot of pictures that I need to like pile up before.
And they're good pictures, right?
Yeah.
These are like
yeah,
actual
these are
like.
quality
yeah,
pictures.
with a camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work because I have to go take all of them, edit all of them, and all of that before I get those wheels switched, and then they have to last me like a couple months. And I typically don't take pictures with the winter wheels on because like they're not cute. Like you guys will see, they're not like the fitment of it like tucks in like this much because they're so
Get yourself
thin.
some wheel spacers.
Guys, they're
on
not
this
even
bad
rubber
boy.
bands. It's just gross.
Get yourself some like 25 millimeter wheel spacers, big old bricks in there. It'll still
man.
look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good part of my day, was taking pictures and editing and whatnot. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. And that was your weekend?
Yep.
Right on. Okay. Well, hey, hopefully we'll start hearing some detailing happening that weekend. We'll hear you do some
But you did
stuff.
borrow the polisher because you were planning on doing some
Right.
headlights.
Yeah.
yeah, I did. Well, the other day, that was like maybe 4 or 5 days ago, I told my mom, I was like, let me practice on your headlights, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause her car's older. She has an older SUV. So I was like, she was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Place to
Play
start.
with it. I was like, all right, if you say
Big
so.
panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I let her borrow the old Porter cable, the old the go-to, and
Yep.
so the 7424, the 3-inch backing plate on it, and it's a very manageable machine with a 3-inch backing plate, but the thing also rips.
Yeah,
when you put it on a speed setting
livens
of
that
5 or
machine up.
6, it
Yeah.
really it kills it. So, awesome. What
What'd
did I
you do, Anthony?
Getting into it. So, Saturday morning, what did I do? So, Friday night, I did something. Can't even remember. Don't even remember what I did Friday night. So, Saturday morning, let's move on to that. Not important. So, Saturday morning, I went over to my friend Chris's house to start in on the
Oh, I know what
GTR.
you did Friday night.
What did I do again?
You left early so that you could go drop off some towels to Jason.
That's
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
what I did. Yeah,
That is
so,
important. That's
so I
very
will
important.
mention. Yeah, I'll mention that.
That
So-
was important and it needs to be
Yes.
mentioned.
Absolutely. So my friend Jason, the one with the blue Evo that we did our very first Wash Wednesday
Low
with.
PSI Evo.
Yep.
He's awesome guy. And so he basically what he did for this last week, he borrowed a horse trailer from one of his buddies at work, and has been loading up that trailer with supplies to bring down to Paradise, California, to help relieve all the first responders and all the people that have lost their homes in the Camp Fire. And as you guys know, if you guys follow the news, that was devastating. It
Oh,
literally
yeah.
leveled
Yeah.
a whole town. I mean, as well as however many houses and people died, in this big thing. So it's been nonstop. So him being from California, he felt like he owed, he needed to do something, at least, from Idaho, that he could do on his own. So him and his fiance both took that weekend off and spent the entire week gathering supplies and donations from everybody here locally. So everything from, and this is what's so cool is that his fiance works for a veterinary hospital. So they donated, I don't know how many leashes, crates for animals,
Dog food,
cat food,
Yeah.
all sorts of, water bins and things like that for animals, which is super cool. And then he went to the store and had, I don't know how many hundreds of water bottles, if not 1,000 of them in there, as well as canned food, paper towels, clothes, everything from jackets to hoodies, pants, everything that they could get donated. So it was already a full trailer at that point, and he was getting ready to leave. And I saw a couple of my other friends donated some stuff, and I was sitting there like, man, I wish I would have had more time to do something. And I was like, when are you leaving? And I texted him. He said, I'm leaving in 1 hour. And I said, okay, hold on. So I went up to Jeff and Carol and said, hey, I would love, and John, I said, I would love to be able to donate some towels if we can do that in our part. And they were like, how many can you fit in your car?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll donate the towels. Just how many can you carry?
How many can you carry?
Should have
to
borrowed
him?
my little truck.
It's not a question.
So I was sitting there like, okay. So they said basically grab as many boxes as you can, because the idea was these are going to be towels for people to use on their hands and face to wipe off soot and whatever they want to use them for. So our spa towels were kind of the most ideal towel for that situation. They're 16 by 27.
Yeah, they're a car wash towel, but
it's a
in
good
white.
hand
in
towel
white.
size.
Yeah. So and they can take a ton of abuse as well. So I was like, all right, let me load up as many as I could. So it ended up being 4 full cases, which ended up being around 500 towels total, about 125 a case. And my Civic was packed. Like I literally couldn't fit anything else in my Civic. It was just absolutely packed from top to bottom. So
Kind of like a bumper being in the car.
yeah. Well, I'm like driving around. I literally couldn't even see through my car because there was so many boxes everywhere. But I drove him down to Jason, And he was so pumped to see that we were able to donate that many because, 500 microfiber towels, it goes a long way, especially because you can keep reusing these towels, and if they want to wash them, they can, or use them and abuse them, however it works. But so we loaded those up. We took a picture with him. We were just happy that the Rag Company could donate
it worked out
to that.
That you're able to do that so quickly.
We're just super happy that we're able to help in any way possible, even if it comes down
and
to
that he was
towels.
still here, because you could have just
I could have missed him.
Could have been gone.
not even noticed and seen his post or any of your friends' posts, and then gotten the idea and called him, been like, dude, I'm already an hour outside of Boise. So
that was I was just super happy to do that. So now going into Saturday. So Saturday was a pretty big day for me because my friend Chris's GTR, the one I had talked to you guys prior about.
You did the color chip. That was the wrong color.
Yeah, he got the wrong color, Dr.
Wrong
Color
red.
chip. So earlier in the week, he did get the right red. I went back over there and I did rock chip repair on it. And this one took me quite a bit of time because not only is the red just kind of a hard color in general to fill in rock chips, because Dane saw it, you have to do multiple coats of Dr. Color chip. It wasn't just one fill and then wipe. It's one fill, let sit, wipe, do another fill, sit, wipe, because basically I have to level that chip to get it to the proper depth. And not just the depth, it actually has to be the right color, right? And it has to have that dark red to it, because if it's any bit of a lighter red, or if it's too dark of a red, it's going to be really obvious, right? Because the more you layer it, So going through it, I did his whole bumper, fenders. So there were some areas on the side of his car, the doors, rear fenders, that had just small little chips here and there. And then on the hood, there was a couple, I call them death chips, which were, huge chips
They
in
go
there.
all the way down.
And I had to go multiple coats on there. But, rock chip repair, it's super, when it's done right, it is awesome. It's super satisfying to see. And with Dr. Color chip being a permanent fix, something that I can actually polish over, it was cool to be able to set that up before the actual correction was going to be done, and it was much needed. So I tell people, if you can do it a couple days prior to do any correction, to give it time to fully cure, that's the best case scenario. You don't want to use it and then immediately polish after. You're going to be pulling that color right back out. So there must have been, I don't know, maybe 40, if not 50 chips I filled, going back and forth with all these different chips on it, and it looked awesome after I was done, but it was just like, it was a pain in the pain in the butt. So I did that earlier in the week. So coming up on Saturday, it was time to actually correct the paint. And, and this is one of those things where I wish I would have prepped a little bit better, because I wish I would have done a test spot my very first time seeing the car. That would have been smart of me to do.
Yeah, well, when you was sitting in your garage and you didn't have the paint.
Yeah, it would have been a perfect time to do a quick test spot to see exactly what I needed. And then using different methods and seeing what was going to work best for me, because what I ended up doing for this job on Saturday, I brought over a handful of pads, I brought over the last cut compound, I brought over hyper polish, and I brought over a lot of different towels, my different machines, my hybrid, my 3-inch Porter cable, and my 15, because I'm just doing the front clip this time around, right? Just the front clip, because that's what's going in for PPF,
right?
And that's another big thing too. I just want to educate people on. Polishing a car before PPF is absolutely a thing. PPF is going to cover a lot of the smaller defects, but the more gloss that you obtain underneath that PPF, the better the overall result's going to be.
Yeah, because the PPF is going to hide a lot of that defect.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily an issue. However, like you say, the gloss is key.
Yeah. So the most depth, the most gloss I can get out of that, that's what I'm going for, because I don't care about the little scratches and stuff like that. But the goal is if I'm already getting gloss and depth out of it, the scratches are going to be gone. So it also clears out the pores in the paint. That's another big thing too, right? Clay is one thing, but actually to be able to polish and then follow up with a paint prep and all of that.
It sharpens the reflection.
Yeah.
Which it just like what's that, the crystal refraction, basically.
You're just looking for that clarity.
Yeah, you look for that clarity, and it bounces the light back at a better angle, so it just looks shinier.
It'll promote adhesion, especially because you don't want any corners lifting up or anything like that.
Yeah,
so
you smooth the surface.
Yeah. So anyways, going into it, I brought all the different tools and stuff I needed. My biggest, I don't want to call it a mistake, I wish I would have had more pad options than what I brought with me. And it was a mobile job, so and it was a little bit far from my house, so I couldn't go back and forth. Basically what it was is that there were some deeper scratches in this car where it had seen the you do-it-yourself spray wash brush, the wheel brush. That car has seen that brush because there were some pretty deep gouges.
You mean
in
the
it.
body brush?
The wheel brush
not-
became a paintbrush.
It's just a car wash brush.
The car wash brush, yes. That I would call
Foams a little bit, and may or may not be horsehair, may or may not be boar's hair, may or may not be flag tip nylon,
may or may not
be
have
just
rocks in it.
You may have tar and rocks
nails
mixed
in
in.
a board.
Could have some nails, possibly some rust.
Who knows?
know.
So there was some deep gouges in it. So I knew I had to compound it, right? And I had my microfiber cutting pads with me, and I also had the Rupes hybrid wool pads as well. And initially, I was just going to go into it the microfiber cutting pads because that's just was going to give me the greatest amount of cut with the last cut compound. So after doing all my prep work, again, using Optimum clay towel, I can't preach how much I love the new Ultra clay towel. Amazing. Made that job super easy to prep. Starting my polishing step, doing my little test spot, I was able to remove all the major defects as far as the deeper scratches and the deeper gouges.
Yeah.
But in result, I left behind micro marring from the pad. Not a problem, right? I'm going to follow up with that with a foam pad. I'm going to see how that finishes out.
Sounds like you did the exact same thing I did with John's truck.
So yeah, probably. And I went to a.
I think I spent an hour just trying to find the right combination.
Yeah, well,
get
it
through
took
that
me about
paint.
an hour and a half to find the right combination. And so what I did is I had my orange HDO pad. I hit that with a last cut compound, and it was removing most of the micro marring, but not all of it, right? I could still see that. And keep in mind, I'm going for about a 90% plus correction on this. I'm kind of going balls out.
Right.
And looking into it, the first thing I noticed is there's still micro marring, and then there's solvent pop, right?
Yeah.
So the solvent pop is always a downer because it kind of
Not much you can do about it.
and it kills the overall clarity for me, and but it is what it is because it's a paint defect. That's not something that I did. So after that, I went to a Rupes yellow pad with hyper polish, and I was able to finish it out okay. But the problem was I'm not going to go through. I don't want to have to go through 3 pads of basically cutting, then cutting, then cutting. I'd rather go a cut, major cut, then do a slight cut, and then finesse it if I absolutely have to, which I don't even want to have to finesse it, but I might have to. So what I ended up doing is switching out from the microfiber pad to the Rupes hybrid wool because that was inducing less micro marring than the microfiber was. After I went to the hybrid wool, that's when I went to TLC on a yellow Rupes pad, right? And then I had one black pad on me. And I always bring one black pad, and it's just the one I have. I'm like, this is my worst case scenario pad. Then I rolled out the black pad with hyper polish, and that finally gave me the result I was looking for. And it was one of those things where the paint was at that point just reacting so soft to anything I did.
Yeah.
I went from using 365s to using Eagle Edgeless for the polish and compound removal, which I typically don't like to do because it clogs up the pores, and it's such a nice towel that I'd like to be able to use something with more aggressive bite. But I had to ultimately watch how much heat I was putting into it. I also, had to watch my working time. I was cleaning out my pads every few passes. Didn't have a pad washer with me, so I had to use his sink with some spray and a brush, and it was tedious and long. And let's just say I had way too many smaller steps and resulting into my final step than I would have liked.
The time added up.
And it was one of those, I didn't mean for it to happen like that. That's kind of how it all played out. And I was expecting to be done in 4 hours, and that 4 hours ended up turning into 6 hours. But I was listening to music. It was cool because my friend Chris has 2 Supers in the garage. He has one on his lift right now with the motor out completely, and he's rebuilding this whole 2JZ, right?
If you're a JDM fanboy and you walk into his garage, you're going to be real upset because he pretty much has one of each of the things that you
love
would want
most.
in your dream garage. An FDRX7, a Mark IV Supra ×2. You got the GTR. I mean,
So it was kind of cool. So, I mean, that was the other thing. It was kind of distracting as well because as I'm polishing,
You'd look over and you're like, oh.
He's like, do you want to see how I put a seal on a head? Do you want to see how I do the head gasket on this Supra, or do you want to see how I do my own gasket for this valve cover? And I'm like,
yes.
Kind of, yes. This is interesting, And so
let me drop what I'm doing over here.
And I was, watching a lot of what he's doing with this crazy turbo build, this new single turbo build on this Supra he's doing for his friend, and it was just cool to see. So it was kind of like a hangout day. We had some drinks. We ordered pizza. So it
wasn't all bad.
It could have gone faster, but ultimately I would have liked to have been able to knock out the work first and then play instead of kind of play, kind of work.
So when I was working on John's truck, Corey Monson, who's a fan of the podcast. Corey, what's up?
Hey.
Him and his wife came to Boise to hang out, and they
did.
stopped by on Friday to see us and take a tour of the facility and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He asked me, hey, do you mind if I come by tomorrow at your house if you're working on the black truck? And I said, yeah, why not? And his thing was he wanted to see me polish in person, kind of see how fast I actually go and that kind of
People always
stuff.
wonder, is he really that efficient? Yes.
Well, let's just say doing a test spot for an hour, trying to find the right combination on John's truck was extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
And not fun for me. I don't like doing
No.
that. But once we figured it out, I finished one side of the truck in under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And but that was the hard part, because then when I went to the other side of the truck, because he does have dry carbon wrap down the middle of the truck.
Be careful around that.
So the roof and the spoiler and the hood have a dry carbon wrap. So I only had like the passenger side and the driver's side. The driver's side was much harder, and the passenger side was soft. And so what had worked on because I did the same thing. I thought, they had a lot of scratches in it. I thought, I'll just hit it with some microfiber, and because I've polished that truck 3 or 4 times already.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I'll just do this. And that didn't work.
It was overkill.
It
for that other
micromarred
side.
really bad, and then I had to try and get the micromarring out, and all of a sudden I was like, I got to figure out what I need to do. So, but that was hard, but it was fun because I had somebody that I could kind of talk to, and we were just chatting and keep figuring out ideas and stuff. But it was frustrating. I'll tell you, it was in my head. I was like, why is this not working the way I want it to?
It's because you have somebody sitting there judging your work now.
No, but it was. But then the other side, I did the same thing. I just swapped pads, and I was like, well, let's see how this goes. That was only about 5 minutes of doing some test spots, and then I had the other side done. So much quicker on the other side.
One thing I wanted to point out too, and this was also interesting. So when I was on that GTR, right, because I had heard about the whole self-healing paint thing. That was something I had heard of. And let me just tell you, this red was not self-healing paint. And if it was self-healing paint, it wasn't very good self-healing paint because it looked absolutely horrible. But so the red was one thing. I knew that was normal paint, right? Now, where the self-healing thing actually really clicked in was the accents on the GTR. So the GTR has the red paint, but the little hood ducts there that has the little vents were this kind of graphite color. The front bumper is this graphite color. The lower lip is graphite. So are the side skirts, right? Now those, and this was extremely interesting, going over everything with the scan grip light, all the red, swirled, scratched, tons of marring, tons of bug gut etchings, all of that. I get down to the graphite part, right? Spotless. And that's where I knew that was the self-healing paint.
Something's up down here, yeah.
The graphite, though, also has this weird orange peel look to it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I've heard about that self-healing paint, is that it has kind of an orange peely look to it. But again, no swirl to be found. So polishing that was a breeze. I literally just put on just a single step of an orange pad on the Lake Country pad, and I used TLC, hit it really quick, looked better than it did before.
Yeah.
But the fact that it didn't have any swirls, it was kind of cool because not only is it the most frontmost area of the bumper, but the side skirts where you're getting in and out of every single day that your feet are, your pants are resting up against, checking for marring there, nothing to be found. So I thought that was kind of cool on Nissan's part, and a smart idea to put that on the side skirts.
Yeah, especially like something like that.
Something like that, getting in and out totally makes sense. So, and it could still chip. There's plenty of chips in that graphite color, don't get me wrong. But having that on the lip, it really masked any defects, right? The chips looked different on those areas of the plastic versus, I guess, the other areas. So it did have something completely different onto it. So, yeah. If anything, what I learned from that job is that, I don't like polishing GTRs. I learned that pretty fast.
It's just that particular one.
And I don't know. And the thing is, I still have to do the rest of the car, right? And so I'm not looking forward to it, but at least now I know what method I can go about doing it to achieve the result I'm looking
you
for.
do the rest of the car.
If you want to see, I did post a small video in the Obsessed Garage Facebook group of just a exterior walk around of the front clip. I didn't pull out a scan grip or anything like that, but you can see kind of the gloss and depth that I was able to achieve with those 3 steps, being the Rupa's wool pad with TLC, the yellow pad with TLC, and then the black pad with hyper polish, and that gave me that last result. And it was naked paint, so I didn't put anything on it afterwards.
Right.
I paint prepped it, said drive it straight here to the PPF place.
Yep.
And Steve, the guy that did my Forerunner, is doing this GTR. So I gave Chris, the owner of the GTR, a bag of Eagle Edgeless, and I said, don't let him wipe anything down without these towels. Like, these are the towels to wipe things down with. So I gave him those towels. So I think all he has to do is do
Hopefully he'll just wipe it down with whatever prep.
He's going to do an IPA wipe,
Yeah.
and then he's going to lay down the PPF, and that's going to be it. And once he gets done with that, I'm going to let that cure for a little bit, make sure all the edges cure properly, and then I'm going to knock out the rest of the car and then gloss coat the entire vehicle after
And
that.
for those wondering, Steve doing the PPF, that's that shop we did that Instagram live story we walked around in.
Yeah, so that's Trax Customs
Cool little
and Slick Garage Slick wraps is what he does. So cool, guys. I was glad that I got all of that done, and looking forward to more, because that one job there has now brought on more jobs
That's good.
in
A lot of
the
people
tuner scene, which is not a
wanting
bad
Anthony.
thing. I'm just like, why didn't you hit me up in the summertime? You
Yeah,
know,
I know, right?
When I
Hey,
could do
but
this.
You want it in the winter because nobody calls you in the winter. It's like I've got ever since I made that post, I'm all the way into almost Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
now.
that's
Boom.
good. It's good. Well, hey, it's Christmas money, and it's
right.
Toy money. I'm starting to think. I'm like, what do I want?
You're like,
in the
I can
near
buy myself a
future?
Tacoma if I keep doing this.
Okay, well, I don't know about that. I did buy myself an iPod Classic over the weekend.
Hey.
So my iPod Classic, it's the little brick, 160 gig, was stolen last year out of the Rag Company
That's right.
parking lot.
Yeah, it came
Which
out
is
of the
weird
Civic.
because stuff doesn't happen here, but that they targeted your car, your iPod.
Some jackass, opens up my door, and
It's the only thing they took, right?
And it must have been locked, but then again, it's a Honda, so I'm not going to ask any questions.
Just put a
on how
bump
they got
key in it and you get it.
But they so I took my iPod. I was so bummed about it. And it's been like a void in my life ever since, because I always
a
loved having
hole.
something that held all of my old music. And
Yep.
so I found one off Facebook Marketplace for $100.
Nice.
Snagged that because, believe it or not, those iPods new on Amazon are going for like $560.
Weird. It's weird.
Which, if you can even imagine that, which is
doesn't
just
make
crazy.
sense.
It's
So-
old tech, but it's solid tech.
It is.
It just
It is.
works.
So that was my weekend, guys.
Well, we hope you guys all have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yes.
If you guys are traveling, be safe.
That is this week.
Are you guys buying anything?
For Black Friday? No.
Yeah. I
we've-
might cop myself a pair of real Yeezys. I don't know why everybody's laughing at me.
Because the fake ones are so much cheaper.
Well,
you could
I-
buy four fake Yeezy pairs.
We had
8
fun
shoes.
comparing because Morgan has real Yeezys, and Poser over here has fake ones.
Get off my ass. You know what? I love them.
But you know what I'm
surprised.
surprised by is they're
I'm just
actually
thankful.
close.
I'm just thankful that they make Yeezys.
Yeah.
And that they have fake ones available as well.
Is that what you're thankful for this
That's what I'm
Thanksgiving?
thankful for this year.
and they're
So,
very comfortable. That's
Anyway.
something to be
All right,
thankful
yeah.
for.
So, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Be safe out there. Drive safe if you're going to drink. Have a designated driver, right?
Or
Yeah.
just stay where you
Or
are.
just stay where you
I mean,
are.
It's Thanksgiving.
Hopefully you get drunk
Sleepover, yeah.
get drunk on turkey and you
That
don't
also
have to move.
works.
Yeah. Right.
So just
Yeah.
roll out.
Yeah. So, hey, Morgan, thanks for jumping in with us.
Yeah,
That was
welcome to the
fun.
team.
Yeah. We hope you want to sit on more of these. We'll just
We
have
hope you
some
guys
chat.
listening enjoy this
Yeah.
and want more Morgan.
It's cool. It's good because our perspectives. It's fun, but it's nice to have somebody coming from a different angle. So I like that.
Yeah.
So as we do, I just want to say thank you for listening. If you're on Shout Engine, awesome. If you're on iTunes, be sure to leave a rating and a review. That gets us in front of more people. We always appreciate
Please
that. That
leave
is
us a review.
very helpful. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You can write just
Just say
good.
Morgan is awesome.
Yeah, you're like, Morgan's cool, and you write
Yeah,
that and give
leave
5
that as
stars.
a review.
People are super happy. That's totally all right. And plus, she'll be happy. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's also helpful. And hey, if you're watching, you're on the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. Make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to that because, hey, that helps us out. I think we're almost to 400 subscribers
Yeah!
on the
Woo,
podcast
woo!
channel now.
All
yeah,
right.
it's building. There are people
It's
there.
amazing.
Yeah.
Granted, the actual podcast audio downloads are blow the videos out of the water, but I want to build up that channel. I want it
Yeah.
to be a place to go as a
Yeah,
resource.
if you're
for
you're
long
listening,
form
Keep it going. I
information.
have to go get something. Keep it going. Keep it going.
but if you're subscribing and you're listening every week, just go on there and hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Please
Yeah.
take 2 seconds and help us grow that YouTube channel. It means a lot. It'll help us out. We know how many of you are listening every week, and we would appreciate if you just take 5 seconds and go hit the Rag Company podcast YouTube channel.
Oh, man.
Oh, and as a special treat, just in time for Black Friday.
These,
hey, whoa, I was moving my stuff out of the way.
Pick one
here.
up. These are not your average Detail Factory brushes.
These are new minis.
Yes.
Mini Detail Factory
These minis
brushes.
are going live on the site today. So by the time you hear this, they're going to be live. A whole new twist on the Detail Factory brushes. These are the crevice brushes, is what.
And they're awesome.
And these are world first.
And they're
exclusive.
Stiff. We are the first in the world to get the
TRC.
Detail Factory brushes, the minis. We're going to release them today, and then probably later this week, John Hull at Clean and Shiny UK is going to be releasing the black and gray. So,
boom.
For all those in the UK, you're going to have the black and gray versions. But
if you want blue and orange, you got to come here.
Gotta come to us.
Yeah, absolutely love these. So yeah, check them out. They're going to be on the website. They are only sold in a pack of 2.
You get a pair for like $15.
Yeah, so you're going to get one
It's
blue,
actually a really
one
good
orange.
deal. It's a good gift idea too.
Perfect
it's not
stocking
huge.
stuffers.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Some detailer is going to be super stoked to find those because they'll go, oh, thank God, I don't have to use Q-tips this time.
So they are live. As you're listening to this, they are live on the site.
Yes.
So go take a look.
Cool, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening, subscribing, watching, whatever you do. Hey, we're just glad you're here.
And we're thankful for you.
And we're thankful for you. All right, guys. Till next time, adios.
See ya.